All right, so we've got the coronation and Meghan, and apparently the other story about that is that she's determined that her children will be close to King Charles. What,
Well,
via Zoom?
I sent you this story because I thought it was so interesting. That came out earlier in the week. And that was from Page Six, and I've had this conversation with you before. Page Six, like the Telegraph and People magazine, are some of these outlets that the Sussexes tend to go to, where you tend to get really, good sources for the Sussexes. I'm trying to say that it seems that they're have
sympathetic.
A relationship
They're
there.
sympathetic to the Sussexes.
Yeah, and it seems like they have a relationship there. And so Page Six posts this article about how Meghan's determined that her children are going to have a relationship with King Charles. Interesting that this comes out like a week before their letter exchange article comes out. But Cristo, what about Thomas Markle? Where is Thomas Markle in all this? Thomas Markle's literally within driving distance from you, and why is it all about the king? And you and I know why it's all about the king.
Yeah, because it's a way of earning money, and Thomas Markle just isn't that useful to them. And I mean, look, it's clear that Thomas Markle at times was not the sharpest tool in the box, let's be honest, and it's clear that he made some mistakes. But certainly in the book we've referenced, the Revenge book, a picture is painted of a really, really sad and lonely man who is quite bemused by it all. He doesn't understand why. There was a narrative put out by Meghan that she was from a broken home and not a very loving family and all of these sorts of things when it was useful to her. When, as I said, he paid a fortune to put her through private school. She spent a massive amount of time with him.
He got her. He got her. I think her first real acting job on General Hospital.
Yeah.
And Samantha was desperate to be an actress, and he never helped Samantha the way he helped Meghan. He always favored Meghan.
So he is, I think, quite devastated. And there's a narrative throughout the book as well that he's convinced he's going to die young, and he's never actually met Harry.
He's never met Harry. He's never met the babies, and he really lost all contact with Meghan after that last Thanksgiving, where he was supposed to meet Harry in Los Angeles, but Harry got caught away doing something else. So Harry made sure that he paid for the catering. But after that, I think that was the last time he saw Meghan.
It's absolutely ruthless. I mean, you have to, in a way, it's an amazing book. I mean, I know I should have read it when it probably came out, but it was my holiday read. And oh my word, it's such a page turner. The thing that's really interesting about it.
Wait, can I tell you my theory?
Oh, go on then.
I think that Jessica Mulroney is one of his anonymous sources, because
and who is she? Remind us who she is again.
That is Meghan's ex-best friend, who was her stylist, who introduced her to Justin Trudeau, and her husband is the son of a former prime minister in Canada, and is an entertainment reporter over there. She got Meghan in the Toronto scene, made Meghan really a star around Toronto, styled her. She's in the wedding in this beautiful blue dress with her children were in the wedding too. During the Black Lives Matter protests and the square controversy on Instagram, Jessica kind of got into it with a Black influencer, and Meghan dropped her. And Meghan hasn't spoken to her since. And so Jessica, if you go back and read Tom Bower's book, and this is all just speculation on my part, he has word-for-word conversations that happen between, while Jessica's in a room, and always quotes an anonymous source. But I'm like, interesting how Jessica is always around when these conversations are taking place.
Now, I'm sure if Jessica were here, she would absolutely deny that were the case, and that there were other sources that could have come from. But what is interesting is that also in that book, it's not just anonymous sources. There are many sources that are named. You know, one
Yeah,
of her former
yeah.
agents absolutely can't stand her. There's like some of her former agents, some of the clients that she had done work for. I think there was a particular clothing brand in Canada,
Reitman's? Is it
Reitman's,
Reitman's?
and you know the description of some of her behaviour on set when she was doing that advertising campaign before she had met Harry is awful, absolutely awful. And it's specific times, specific days, specific people are mentioned. And normally when there are names or there are specifics and quotes like that, they're quite reliable. And also, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's been any legal action regarding that book.
No, there's not. Not at all. And they are very litigious.
Yeah, we know how
we
much they love an amendment. They do love an amendment.
Exactly. Woo, y'all. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right, happy birthday, Louis. We should have an acknowledgement to Prince Louis.
Yes, that's such a cute picture of him. I think I saw it on the cover of Express. And I have I've been packing. I cannot wait to get there.
When do you arrive here? Oh, look at you.
May the 1st.
May the 1st.
Yes.
And then you're coming in to do the show live the day after the coronation. But we'll probably talk to you the morning of the coronation as well.
Probably. I'm just moving into your house.
Yeah, I know you are. I know that you will be stalking me. Now, just very quickly, we've got a minute just to say, Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, I'll take that reforming as well for the coronation, or do we not know that yet?
No, Take That. I've seen Take That mentioned several times. So I mean, Katy Perry is a blast. But also don't forget that there is alleged beef between Katy and Meghan because Katy made fun of her wedding dress. At the time of her wedding, Entertainment Tonight asked the cast of American Idol what they thought about the wedding. And Katy said, I think she needed one more fitting. And ever since then, Meghan has refused, allegedly, to be kind to Katy, who's her neighbor. So it's kind of interesting that Katy is now playing the coronation. However, at the same time, Katy has done a lot of work with Charles's charities, so it makes sense.
Yes, and also Lionel Richie. I love Lionel Richie. That's a great choice. Bette Midler, is she going to be there as well? We heard Bette Midler maybe as well.
I've only seen her complaining about losing her blue check mark. I've not seen her officially confirm that, but that would still be fun as well.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you, Kinsey. We'll talk to you again next weekend in preparation for all of this. That's Kinsey Schofield.